Hey, beautiful people. Are you tired of chasing acceptance from other people, being lost in a sea of faces, still feeling like you're not fitting in? Today, we're going to flip that script and we're going to come at it from a completely different point of view. I'm going to share with you a complete game-changing truth. The most profound sense of fitting in, of belonging, doesn't come from other people. It doesn't come from community. It comes from deep within yourself. Let's talk about how we can achieve feeling like we belong to ourselves. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. I'm so glad I'm here to talk about this because this is something that is really quite dear to my heart and it causes so much pain in the world, in people. I find that as a community, as a society, we are more separated than we've ever been before. We're more connected with the internet, but we're also more isolated. We spend huge amounts of time in groups of people with everybody on their phones, connecting with other things, not with us. And it's become kind of normal to be in these communities where we're actually still isolating, even though we're in the company of other people. And there is a way to navigate this and to still find the deepest sense of peace. Now, I'm not saying we don't need community. I want to put that out here right now because I know that people are going to come at me and they're going to say, we need people. And I agree with you. We are human beings. We are tribal creatures. We do need other people. But what I'm saying is when we're seeking validation from other people or other circumstances, or even, our successes, our career, our family, our housing situation, the current car we're driving, it's never going to work. It's a house of cards. In the words of the frankly incomparable Maya Angelou, you alone are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Think about that. Let that sink in because it's very deep, it's very expansive, and it's very simple. And it's really difficult in this tenuous society of 1,000 distractions a second to spend that time being centered, thinking about what do I actually need to make me feel like I'm grounded in this crazy fast-paced world. But you are everything that you need. Brené Brown is one of my biggest guides and gurus in my life. And one of the quotes that she said that had a massive impact on me was this: don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you will find it. Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you're not enough, because you will find it. Our worth and our belonging and our value, these are things that are not negotiated with other people. They come from within us. We hold that in our hearts and it is not negotiable. For me, I know who I am after years and years and years of self-discovery and self-analysis and deep, deep work and sitting with myself. I am so clear on who I am. I am not saying that I have no work to do. I'm at the very beginning of my journey as a human being that wants to evolve and grow. But I am confident in who I am, and who I am is not to be negotiated. If I am going to be less, if I'm going to try and fit in, then I am betraying the core of who I actually am, and I won't do that. Self-discovery is a massive buzzword right now, but it's not just some flippant term thrown around the internet. This is a deep and profound journey, and it's a process of growth and fulfillment. It's about peeling back the layers of who you are and discovering at the core, what are your core values? Who are you? A lot of philosophers talk about going out into the wilderness, you're becoming one with yourself by going out into the wilderness and casting off societal things. And it's a great metaphor for the process that happens when we are focused on going inward to be confident in who we are and to have full acceptance for ourselves. When you embrace your own individuality, and that means your quirks, that means your failures, that means your successes, that means the areas that you're thriving, the areas that you want to work on, you become deeply whole. When we rely on ourselves for self-belief, self-compassion, we have something so much bigger and so much more rooted and so much less fallible than when we're getting those things from other people. And when we reach that place where we feel like we really understand who we are, we're really confident in who we are, and we are getting that love from ourselves, and we don't need that from other people, that is actually when we can show up in our community at our best with vulnerability, because you know that you love yourself, you know that you're going to protect yourself, and it puts us in a place where we can drop away so many of the things that stop us connecting with other people, because we don't need to have the same fear of being rejected or being hurt, because actually our deepest sense of self-worth, self-love comes from within. Isn't it liberating to realize that you are your own community, you are your own guide, your own counsel? I feel like this is such a freeing thought process and understanding, because you're no longer at the whim of other people's moods, or whether or not the right person can say the right thing to you on the right day. When we're looking externally for this kind of support and validation and understanding, it really is a house of cards, because everybody has their own things going on at all times. We're all human beings with our own inner narratives and our own chemicals of hormones happening, our own individual life stories happening. People cannot show up for you in the way that you need them to show up all of the time. It's not possible. It's not even realistic to expect that. So if you understand that and you take a step back and you learn to rely on yourself, on your own authority, then when the people around you in your community show up for you, it's just a beautiful celebration, because you're already showing up for yourself. So when other people are then showing up for you, it's like a chorus, rather than relying on that and then feeling constantly let down and battered. And that shifts you immediately into a victim mentality, because you feel like, well, my community is not there for me. My husband has said the wrong thing to me today, or my best friend never says what I need to hear, or, my friends haven't come round even though they know I'm feeling down. Actually, if you're relying on yourself, it frees you, gives you some emotional distance to understand that your community loves you. Your community is going through their own personal human journey, and not everybody can show up at the right time. But that doesn't matter if you have that power within yourself. When you stop trying to fit in, when you shed the mask of how it is that you think that you're supposed to be, you also release the need for approval. And you don't need approval from anybody apart from yourself. If you are going inward on a regular basis, if you are thinking about who you are as a human being, how you're showing up for the world, how you're showing up for yourself, you do not need anyone else's approval. And when you release that, you have such freedom and a bigger capacity to connect with other people, because you're not connecting with an expectation. There's no transaction there. You're connecting with a pure desire to connect as one whole human being to another whole human being. You don't have to be alone on this journey. This is why I am making videos like this, and why millions of other people are talking about these things on social media. When we talk about these things and we connect on these things, we come together as a community. We come together as a tribe to love and support each other in our journey. And even though what I'm talking about now is very introspective and it is about holding space for yourself, that by its own nature will allow you to have such a deeper connection. I would love to hear from you about how you feel about this journey of self-love, self-care, self-reliance. I would love to know, what have you experienced on the road to this? How does this make you feel? Maybe you disagree with me completely. Maybe you don't think that this is something that is achievable. Let's talk about it. There's no right or wrong answers. There's no bad questions in life. If you're on a journey of exploration and discovery, then I'm here for you. I'm here for you at whatever stage you're at. And if you're further along than me and you have advice for me, fantastic. Please, I want to hear it. And if you're not there yet and you need some help, reach out, send me a message. Let's talk about it.